Hello there. Number one. What do you think the number one reason is why marriages end? Why do you think that is? I'll tell you why. Communication breakdown. You didn't just wake up one day and you stopped talking to each other. It's been a gradual decline and a gradual pulling away. You know, when you first got together, it's all those little touches and you're moving forward and you're there with each other. When your needs start not being met, and depending on how you communicate, you may get really angry, or you may shut down, or you make assumptions, and there's just such a big topic. But ultimately, it's understanding how you communicate. And what I see happening a lot, I've been in practice now for 12 years, what I see happening a lot is that couples start having this whole inner world. And look, that's what happened with me. I had a 30-year relationship, 30-year marriage, and I started to have this inner world of not fully communicating. And I'm not going to go into that now. But what I am going to talk about is the run-on effect if you aren't able to communicate. It is the most crucial skill. And if you feel that you aren't able to communicate or communicate effectively, go and seek some support. There's so many different people that you can go and work with. Find someone that you gel with, someone that you trust, and start learning how to speak up, how to say what you're actually feeling, but to be able to do it in an assertive way. So when the communication isn't effective, what begins to happen, do you think? Well, of course, your sex life is going to begin to start struggling. You're not feeling connected. Emotionally, it's a bit deficient. And so you start making assumptions. Okay, well, what's going on for my partner? There's a whole heap of stuff that goes on when there isn't effective communication. Also, we can begin to disregard our boundaries and also our partner's boundaries. So say your partner is, what's an example? An example could be you start nagging, you start attacking, you start yelling because your partner has just walked off or not listening. So have you got any control over your partner and how they behave? No, you haven't. You'll know that if you've listened to any of my podcasts or Instagram or whatever, I rattle on about that all the time. Bringing it back to yourself. Another thing that begins to happen when there's a communication breakdown, after sex, what do you think the next one is? It's a tie between parenting and money, but let's go to money. Money's really different for different people. Money can be security, money can be experiences, money can be power. So many different levels to money. And how do you both do money? Well, when you're not communicating effectively, all of that starts to come up as well. There's just so many onshoots from this. Another huge big thing I need to mention is social media. When you're not communicating effectively, the interference of social media, the amount of people I have in my room who talk about their partner, they're on Instagram or they're on Facebook or they're just in this trance watching YouTube. So you as a couple aren't communicating. There's like a third person in the relationship. So communication is key. Also, what begins to happen is a lack of trust. You almost feel like, excuse me, I should have put my phone on silent. You aren't able to go to your partner with issues because there is a lack of trust. Look, I could talk and talk and talk about this. However, if you are not communicating effectively, meaning you are in the assertive adult, you're coming from a place of dignity, of respect, you're not speaking at your partner, you're speaking with them, that is an effective way to communicate. However, if you're with a partner who's not listening to understand and is just wanting to bring their two bob worth in, again, there's a breakdown of communication. So the biggest, I suppose, thing I would like you to get from this video is that the number one destroyer of marriages is communication. If you are not communicating effectively, find a couples therapist, a coach, someone that you trust, where you can both begin to open up and talk very freely about how you're feeling, and then start learning some communication tools and skills. If you go onto my podcast, the Empowered Marriage podcast, I talk a lot about that, because education is empowerment. And so you don't want to be a statistic, being, communication. John Gottman from the Gottman Institute, he talks about communication and how it is the number one key for relationships. So if you are not a communicator, learning some skills and tools, because you can learn how to communicate more effectively so that you can have a really empowered relationship and an empowered marriage. And on that note, see you next time.